Now I'm going to show you how to indicate different points on a monopoly diagram. I'm going to call this kind of monopoly objectives because it's quite a nice diagram that fits in with essays on objectives, and it's usually an essay about is it always the objective of firms to profit maximise. Okay, so quite a straightforward essay to do, really. So cost slash revenue slash price, whatever you want to put up that axes, and then your output down here. Okay, so I'm just going to really quickly draw a monopoly and average revenue. If you need it slowly explained, have a look at my other presentation because I go through it much more slowly, explaining all the points. Okay, so it's a little bit to the left of that point there. It should have been a bit intersecting. Marginal cost should have intersected average cost at its lower point. Okay, but there's my diagram. So we can indicate some different points. So the most common one that you're going to indicate on a monopoly is this point here. So when marginal cost equals average cost, marginal cost equals average marginal revenue. Oh, I can't get my words right today. Marginal cost equals marginal revenue. That's the quantity that they're going to produce at if they want to profit maximise. And you go up and across to that point. So profit maximising point is going to be there. I'm going to call that point A. So point A is going to be profit maximising point, and that is where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. That wasn't a very good equal sign. Okay. Another point that we might have is to revenue maximise. Okay, so revenue is maximised where marginal revenue hits the output axes, the horizontal axes, and that is our point of revenue maximisation. So mathematically, that revenue square there should be much greater at that point than the one I drew for profit maximisation. So I'm going to call that point B is revenue maximisation, and that's where marginal revenue equals 0. Okay. So some other points that we can illustrate on here are the competitive equilibrium, and this would be when marginal cost or supply in a competitive market hits the average revenue curve. So this would be the point of allocative efficiency. So I'm just going to circle that one. I'm going to call that C. I'm running out of space, so I'm going to do it over here. So C is going to be, I'll call it the CE, standing for the competitive equilibrium. Don't use these abbreviations in your exam because the examiner won't know what you're talking about. It's just hard for me to write out full sentences on the iPad. So this is going to be where marginal cost equals average revenue, and that's the competitive equilibrium. And then lastly, the last point I want to show you is this point here, where average costs equal the average revenue. Now this, you can use this point to illustrate two things actually. Okay, so they'd be setting the price there, and they'd be setting the quantity there. So D is average cost, AC equals AR, and this point is where a monopoly would produce if it's quite a contestable market. So there's threat of entry into that market. So they'd want to produce there because they wouldn't be making any supernormal profit there. So it'd become less attractive for other firms to get into the market. But also, you could produce there if you are trying to maximize the volume of the product that you're trying to sell because you're making normal profits there. So that's the point at which without having to make a loss. You're maximising your sales volume or amount that you're selling.